Before either could react, a massive figure stepped into view. An enormous Kopat, its presence both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Towering over them, its broad shoulders caught the fading light. Moments later, a smaller figure emerged beside it. A Koat. Its humanoid body, slender and angular, appeared subtly twisted by the effects of an unfamiliar gravity. There was nothing monstrous in its face, only a distant serenity. Without warning, the Koat darted a few meters ahead. The Kopat followed, lumbering toward Sebastian. Then, with incredible strength and precision, the Kopat began lifting the heavy branches trapping him. Freed at last, Sebastian tried to stand, but a sudden, sharp pain jolted through his body. He cried out and crumpled back to the ground. His right leg was shattered, the tibia protruding gruesomely through his skin. Blood soaked the earth beneath him. Meanwhile, the Kopat turned its attention to Adrian. One by one, it removed the logs pinning him down. When it finally lifted the trunk, crushing Adrian's right arm, Adrian screamed, raw, visceral, and blood-curdling. He staggered to his feet, only to collapse again. Half of his arm was missing, mangled by the weight of the fallen tree. Sebastian dragged himself across the ground toward him, face twisted in pain. Adrian knelt, trembling, eyes glazed. Without hesitation, Sebastian pulled off his shirt and tied it tightly around Adrian's arm, forming a makeshift tourniquet to stem the blood loss. Adrian was barely conscious, his skin slick with sweat and blood. The pain was blinding, and his breath came in ragged gasps. He felt himself slipping. Then, movement in the distance. Two figures approached, human in shape, but impossibly pale, their skin nearly luminescent. One male, one female. They looked like humans, but their presence felt different. Too still. Too calm. For a breath, everything was still. The pale beings didn't speak. They simply watched. Adrian, half dazed, couldn't tell if they were going to help or finish what the tree had started. The man stepped forward and drew a small, curved dagger from the folds of his robe. Wordlessly, he handed it to the Koat. The Koat extended one long finger, then sliced deep into it with the blade. Crimson blood, indistinguishable from human, began to flow. He dropped the dagger and approached Adrian. With surprising gentleness, he unwrapped the shirt from the boy's arm. Adrian groaned, barely aware of what was happening. Then the Koat pressed his bleeding finger directly to the mutilated limb, letting the blood coat the wound. Adrian gasped. His eyes flew open. I'm freezing, he stammered, teeth chattering. My arm, it's cold, like ice. Before their eyes, his skin turned pale, then translucent. A faint glow shimmered along the wound. Slowly, impossibly, tissue began to regenerate. Veins, muscles, bone. Fingers formed, flesh sealed. Within moments, Adrian's hand and arm was whole again. He stared down, breathless and trembling. His restored arm trembled, still tinged with the memory of pain. Then he looked up, stunned at the beings surrounding him. "Who are you?" he whispered. Sebastian could barely believe what he was seeing. Adrian's arm, mutilated just moments ago, had completely regenerated. The flesh was intact, the skin unbroken, the fingers moving freely. It had taken only seconds. He turned to the Koat in disbelief and saw that his finger, too, had healed. No wound, no blood, only smooth skin where the cut had been. Speechless, Sebastian stared, his thoughts a chaotic swirl of awe and confusion. How could this be real? The Koat turned and made the same chittering sounds toward the Kopat. The massive being approached Sebastian and knelt beside him, placing a broad hand on the exposed bone of his shattered leg. With gentle precision, the Kopat realigned the bone. Sebastian cried out. The pain was blinding, but before he could even catch his breath, the Koat sliced his own index finger once more and let his blood drip onto Sebastian's wound. A wave of icy sensation shot through Sebastian's leg, sharp and unnatural. Almost instantly the healing began. Veins reknit, muscle reformed, and skin sealed itself in smooth, unbroken layers. Sebastian looked down in shock. His leg was whole. No blood, no scarring. Just skin, clean and unbroken, as if nothing had ever happened. He stood slowly, testing his weight. There was no weakness, no limp. He turned and helped Adrian to his feet. Both of them were now fully healed. Sebastian placed a hand over his chest, still trying to steady his breath. "How?" he whispered. "What are you?" "We are very grateful," he told the beings, but they didn't respond. He tried again, slower. "Who are you?" Still no reply. Then the pale woman stepped forward. She placed her hand gently on Adrian's forehead. The man did the same with Sebastian. They repeated the gesture with the Kopat and the Koat. "How are you?" the woman asked, her voice suddenly clear and resonant, as if the language barrier had just dissolved. Sebastian blinked, startled. I'm well. I have no pain at all." Adrian flexed his fingers. "I'm fine. My hand works perfectly. Thank you," he added, looking toward the Koat. "I thought I was going to die." "You were not dying. You were temporarily non-functional," the Koat replied with clinical calm. "Dying is irreversible. That is the distinction." His pupils narrowed as he examined Adrian's regenerated hand, more as if he were reading data than observing flesh. He tilted his head slightly. "The regenerative factor is embedded in our biofield. Sympathetic contact stabilizes the morphogenetic matrix." "I know what you are," Sebastian said, his voice careful. "You're Ishtoas, and you," he added, nodding toward the towering figures beside her, "are a Kopat and a Koat. We fought your species in the trial of evolution." The woman inclined her head slowly. "Yes." "Then why are you here?" Sebastian asked, frowning. The woman drew a deep breath and placed a hand over her chest, as if steadying something within. "After the trial, our god Numen summoned us. He asked us to help you reach the thread." She looked at each of them in turn, her expression both solemn and composed. "Its proper use is the only hope we have to restore the life of our kind." The Kopat stepped forward. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. "I swore to give my life to help you reach the thread," he said, low and steady. Then the Koat spoke, his posture rigid, arms tucked neatly behind his back. His tone was clipped, unsentimental. "We're here for function," he said. "If you fail, it all ends. That's all that matters." "I made the same vow," added the Ishtoa male, his voice firm and unwavering. Adrian stepped forward, his voice tense, eyes wide with a rising ache. "What happened to your worlds?" he asked, barely above a whisper. "We saw them burn. We saw them fall. All of them." The woman turned to him, and sorrow crept across her features like a shadow. "After the trial of evolution, our home planet, Liber, was bombarded," she said softly. "It was once a world of light and knowledge, filled with art, wisdom, and a civilization that had touched the edge of its potential. But in the aftermath of the war, it became dust, a wasteland. No living being remained. Our species was erased." Adrian and Sebastian stood still, their expressions tight, disbelief carved into their brows, empathy rising behind their eyes. "But before the destruction," she continued, her voice growing steadier, "one of Numen's followers foresaw the end. He intervened. He gathered 1,000,000 of us, the last Ishtoas, and brought us to Earth through a hidden path. He gave us sanctuary, so we could preserve our memory, our wisdom, and our hope." She paused, glancing toward the Kopat and the Koat beside her. The Koat gave a small tilt of the head, his pupils narrowing, hands folding neatly once more before speaking. "The same happened on Akka," he said. "Before the collapse, 1,000,000 of us, Kopats and Koats, were moved through the portal to Earth. We're what's left. Not a planet, not a people, just fragments, preserved by those who believed survival alone wasn't enough. Memory had to endure." The air grew heavy with silence. Then the female Ishtoa turned back to Adrian and Sebastian. Her voice, when it came again, was low, calm, but charged with quiet urgency. "I know this is a lot to take in, but you must understand. Your quest for the thread isn't just about saving Dane. It's about preserving the balance of everything that remains. The thread is more than a tool. It's the convergence of will, power, and memory. If used wisely, it can bring restoration. If not..." She let the words fade into silence. The Ishtoa male shifted his stance, meeting their eyes. "We're not here to lead you," he said quietly. "We're here to walk beside you, to make sure the thread is found, and used not to conquer, but to restore." The Ishtoa female looked at them both, her voice gentle but unwavering. "You are not alone in this.